Hello everyone. A lot is going on. A 7.5 took place in Peru yesterday, and a number of other earthquakes in the magnitude 6 has taken place as well. So in this video we're going to cover all of the areas as much as possible, and a lot's going on. It seems like every week or every other day when I turn this program on, I see more and more indications that's taking place. And we're going to be looking at off the coast of Japan in an area that I've been keeping up with for a few months. They had a 6.3, and we're going to cover that area, but also areas throughout the Asian countries, such as Indonesia, Malaysia, but also the Philippines, and they had a 6.2 right there in this area of Asia on the border of India. So there's a lot going on, and I've been tracking them as much as possible. It seems like I'm going to have to go to the program at least every 2 days because so much is happening. And if we look at this area here of North Carolina, 2.3, and also the new Madrid fault line is acting up, should I say, and it's going to get worse. So a number of 2s have taken place over the last couple of days, and Texas had a 3.2, but also a 5.4, 4.9 in Central America. So we are going to cover that area as well as inside the Baja Peninsula. A number of 4s have taken place over the last couple of days. And today there was quite a bit of shaking going on. I was surprised that so many while I was on this program was happening. And we're going to cover them as much as possible. A lot's going on, and as you know, we're getting closer to the 38.5 degree mark, and we're going to go over that magnetic north, the current location, and we're going to cover as much area as possible in this video. But before we begin, I just want to say thank you all for coming over to Deep Truth, Deep Impact, which it basically had about 2,300 subscribers, and now it's got 3,300, so that means 1,000 people came over in the last week, and I want to say thank you all for that, because Earth Changes channel is not going to be putting videos up for the next month or so, should I say, until the restrictions are taken away, and that way the channel won't be taken down. So it's important to keep both of these channels going, and Deep Truth, Deep Impact fortunately has no strikes, but Earth Changes channel, talking about certain events, you know, community guidelines. And I really want to say thank you all for coming over here. Deep Truth, Deep Impact basically covers what's going on in our solar system, which is a lot happening. I may try to do a video this week. I've got so much going on and working with 5 different channels, and it's a lot. So I want to thank you all for your patience and understanding. Also, as far as emails, I'm trying my best to catch up on some that goes back months ago that I've just been overwhelmed, and it's hard to keep up with the emails as well as text messages, but I'm doing the best I can, and I want to say thank you. Also, 271 subscribers signed up for Deep Truth. It is going to be covering, should I say, spiritual messages to help people get through the times that we are living in on a positive level. It's so sad what's taking place. A lot of people are falling into depression, even suicide, and it's very, very sad. And the links will be in all of the links will be in the description box. As far as the Real Precursor Part 9 will be up this Friday, and I will let everyone know on the Real Precursor over 386 subscribers, and I want to say thank you all because this is very important. And if you don't know how to get there, just watch this video and it will explain. And also, I'm going to go ahead and put all of the information I can in the description box there. And this tells you how to find me on Telegram. So instead of Earth Changes Channel or Deep Truth, Deep Impact, you can search for that. But also you can search under a cover name, Justin Elliott. And people ask me, why did I put that name up there? And that's the name I've been using since 2015 when, well, my phone was tapped by, you know, the F and the I and the B, FBI, should I say. So that's why Justin Elliott is a name that I use from time to time. And I want to let everyone know that the description box will have all of these links in it on this video. We're going to get started straight to the 7.5 in Peru. That is approximately in this area. It took place on the 28th of November, yesterday. And it was very, very deep. It was 112 kilometers, about 60 miles deep. And a lot of devastation took place. A lot of people lost their homes, and I believe a couple of people lost their lives. So we're going to be watching a video to look at the damage in this region. And it's truly sad because this was a different area and a small town, and it affected this whole region right here. And an earthquake 112 kilometers, very deep, ladies and gentlemen. And to have that kind of force, well, it destroyed a lot of buildings. And like I said, a couple of people, I believe, lost their lives. So let's check out this video before we start the earthquakes. As you can see, the devastations of the buildings. But remember, they do not have the building codes as we do here in the United States and other parts of the world. Peru is basically, the citizens there are very simple. The government does not have the restrictions on the building codes, and as a result, you can see the damage. A lot of people's homes was destroyed. And like I stated, it was a very deep earthquake. It's truly sad because there's a lot of good people in Peru. And they're very simple. They live a very simple life. Most of them do not have the money. Most of them are very poor. And their homes are basically built out of, a lot of them are built out of mud when you get into the rural areas, similar to a brick. But as you can see, the devastation was very, very bad. And like I said, you can look at the buildings and they are not built like other parts of the world. The building codes here in America is very strict, but you can see what took place, and it's very sad. But these events are going to increase around the world. And as you can see here, a lot of landslides took place as well. That building is just completely demolished. But as you can see, the structure, that they use is basically like a mud that dries out. They don't use bricks unless they have the money, of course, but the building codes are very lacking. Anyhow, I just wanted to show you the devastation, and let's go through the earthquakes. So we're going to move towards Central America. A number of earthquakes have taken place, including a 5.4 that was very shallow, 49 kilometers, so that's about 30 miles. And it took place in this region. Just south of Guatemala, and it was, like I said, it was a 5.4, and it was 49 kilometers. That is very shallow. And it, as you can see, all of these earthquakes that I have been tracking, back in September there was a 6.5 on the 22nd, and then November the 8th there was a magnitude 6 in Nicaragua off the coast. As we slide up here, I want to show you what's been going on. As you can see, they've been increasing along this tectonic plate of the Pacific Ocean. But what I want to show you, and I'll focus on this on the last update, and it's this area right here inside the Baja Peninsula. In November the 19th, a 4.5, a 4.4, as well as a 4.2, 4.1 in that area. And it's basically the same area, just north of this island right here. And then on the 26th, there was a 4.6 that took place in this region. And it was very shallow. Actually, it was only about 6 miles deep, 10 kilometers. And then on the 29th, another one at 4.3, just north of this location. And also on the 23rd, a 4.3. And then back in November the 15th, a 4.2. These are the aftershocks in this region. But what's catching my eye again is this area. A magnitude 3.7. Again, it was very shallow, only 11 kilometers. I'm going to bring this in so you can see what I'm talking about. This is the area, and it was on the 28th yesterday. And then a number of 2.6, 2.4s in this area as well. So all of these indications are increasing, and they're going into the Pacific. As you can see, a magnitude 3.2 back in November, a 3.0 on the 15th. And this is approximately the area right here on the 29th. This was recorded today. And the 2.4 was very shallow. Again, 21 kilometers. So I went ahead and put the San Andreas fault line in here, and I want to basically show you how that looks in California all the way up to San Francisco, and then it falls into the Pacific Ocean. So basically the San Andreas fault line starts here on the peninsula, the northern side, and it goes all the way through the Salton Sea, and it's in the white indications here, and it goes all the way up through this region into San Francisco, and then it deviates a little bit and goes into the Pacific, and then after that this is the Cascade Subduction Zone in this area. So while we're here, I want to cover this area right here of the hydrothermal vents, and the last couple of days, there's been some changes, and I want to go over it with you. On the 25th of November, a 2.6 and a 2.4 took place in this region. This is the area, and it was only 11 kilometers. And then again, as you can see, it's basically going out into the Pacific. All of these areas here. And then this is a 2.6 that occurred on the 29th. And then more indications in this area. The 26th, there was a 3.0 right here where the plates make the adjustment. It was very shallow. It was 8 kilometers, about 5 miles deep, and that's really not that much. And then on the 24th again, there was a 3.8 in this area. I'm going to bring this in a little bit. A 3.8 and a 4 right there in that area. But what's got me, they're starting to go outward. And it was only 10 kilometers. As you can see, they're starting to go up in this direction. So it's going to be interesting if it takes off to go north, because this plate right here, as you can see under the oceans, I believe it's going to go in this direction rather than this one. But if you look very closely, I don't know you can see, but there is a line that runs up through here. So it can go in either way. And of course, these areas here are underwater volcanoes that are dormant. They are not hydrothermal vents in this area. These are volcanoes right here, as you can see. But what I've noticed is we're starting to see an increase going into the land and the mountain ranges in this area. It started back in August, and this is the 22nd of November, a 3.1 took place. And it's this one right here. And like I stated, it's only 10 kilometers. So now we're going to move up into Washington. A lot's going on right there, and I'm going to show you. In this area of Mount Rainier, there was a 2.1. It was 11 kilometers. It was on the 26th, just outside of Mount Rainier in this area here. But also a 1.5 took place on the 16th, and a 1.5 on the 19th. A 1.8 took place on the 26th. But as you can see, this is the 1.8 right here on the 26th. But also I noticed Mount St. Helens on the 10th, a 1.1 took place in that region. And then we're going to see more and more as we move north. This was a 1.5, and it was 13 kilometers. So in this area here, I'm going to bring this out so you can see what I'm talking about. As you can see, this area, there's a 1.4 right there. And the 1.5 is what I want to show you. And it was approximately in this region. It took place approximately in this location, Kikes Peak and Glacier Peak area. I don't have it marked on the map, and it was 13 kilometers. And also, while we're here, there was a 1.9 in Canada, but also a 1.5. This just happened. So this 1.5 is approximately in this region. As you can see, there's two mountain ranges right here, and it's this one. And remember, in September there's a 6.5 in that area as well. So now we're going to move over here and focus on the New Madrid area. So in this area of the New Madrid, we're seeing a lot more indications. That's why I'm flagging them. The 2.2 took place on the 28th. That was yesterday. And I'm going to bring this in so you can see the area. And remember, this is the New Madrid, okay? A lot of people don't understand it's a difference between the Madrid, which is this one that runs up through here. You have the Madrid and then the New Madrid fault line. And this is Real Foot Lake, and on the 28th they had a 2.2. And the reason I'm covering these, even though they're small, these are indications, ladies and gentlemen, okay? This is important because this could go to a 3. And there was a 3 recorded not too long ago. I believe I covered it last week. A magnitude 1.6, November the 21st. But look at these. All of these are in this area right here. Right up in this area. The 12th, the 29th, the 21st, the 28th. And in Missouri, they had a 2.0. I'm going to bring this out so you can see it. And it was in this area. And this is where the 4.0 took place in Missouri on the 18th. So you can see this area is starting to increase. Normally I don't cover it. I haven't in the past when they're small, a magnitude 1.3, but I'm going to be covering these areas because I believe they're very important because they're going to be increasing. I'll look for them to go to magnitude 2.5 or 3.5 over the next 3 or 4 months as we're getting closer towards the magnetic north position at 38.5 degrees. Also, this area here I want to focus on, North Carolina. It was a 2.3, also a 1.9 was recorded on the 24th. And would you believe it was only 1 kilometer? Wow, that's only a half mile, ladies and gentlemen. So it was this area here, and there was another one back on the 27th for 1.8 in that area. And then, of course, on the 21st, there was a 2.5. These are the aftershocks, as you can see. There's multiple. And then in this part of the northeast of Canada, a 1.6 took place, and it was 10 kilometers. As we slide over here, I want to show you the area. And this is the Madrid. Okay, this is the Madrid fault line. And as you can see, this fault line is probably what made this river that comes into the Great Lakes. But it was a 1.6 back on the 25th. Also a 2.0 that took place that was only 3 kilometers, and that happened on the 25th as well. And back in August, a 1.9. So we're starting to see more and more areas in the northeast, diverse places, should I say. And that area is right here. Right here in Maine. And then I have been tracking them the best I can. 1.9 on the 23rd. That's this one right here. As you can see, and it was 12 kilometers. So we're starting to see more and more earthquakes in diverse places. And what I mean, normally areas that we don't see. Okay. And in August, what was very odd, a 4.0 took place in this area of Canada. So we're starting to see more and more areas that are diverse. What I mean by that, you normally don't see those type of earthquakes. And then here in that area, this is a 3.2 that took place. It was only 4 kilometers on the 27th of November, and it's right here by the river. And you know, we're going to see more and more, and it's just a matter of time before we're going to start seeing them increase. I thought this was pretty odd at 3.2, but there is a bulge that runs right through here, and this area is known for ancient volcanoes actually up around this area. I'm not saying that has anything to do with it, but on the 28th a 3.3 took place. That's this one right here, and it was 4 kilometers. Now I took the rings off. Normally I have rings in this area that classifies these names as different earthquake zones, and I took them off because I'm going to start tracking these. And this is Lubbock area right here. But August, they had a lot of indications in this area. And this is a 2.0 that took place, only 7 kilometers. And it was approximately around this area. I don't have it marked because I believe there's going to be a lot of small ones, as you can see, but most of these are increasing. There's a 3.2, a 3.0, 2.9, 3.1. So we're going to see more and more in this area. I anticipate magnitudes of 3, 3.5 in this area right here. And then we're starting to see more and more indications in Utah, and I have been tracking this area in Utah for quite some time. I'm going to bring it over here so you can see what I'm getting at. And this is the area. Right up in here is the areas that you see here. You see these? 2.0, 2.8, and I haven't been tracking them because they're small and there's so many of them. And then in this region here we have a number of earthquakes. As you can see, they're small indications, but that's telling me that something's about to take place. And as you can see, as a reference right here, this is the Salt Lake here. This is the reference I was speaking of, and that is approximately in this area right here. So hundreds of multiple earthquakes ranging from a 0.9 to a 2.5, and that's this area right here. We're going to look at Yellowstone. This is the lake there, and a lot of indications, but they're small. And someone was telling me they did have a 4 in this area, but it was deleted by the GS, and it was deleted immediately. And by the time I checked on it, it was completely gone. So these are the indications. The largest in that area was a 2.3, and of course these are the aftershocks in that area. 1.2. But what's getting me is I'm starting to see more and more taking place in Idaho. And we have a subscriber, her family lives up there, and she was asking about the volcanoes that's in Idaho. And it's in this area right here. As you can see, the small indications, and this is the area that I'm speaking of. And it's approximately in this area. I have it highlighted right here, as you can see, and I'm not listing them, but I may have to, because a 3.0 took place on the 23rd, and a 2.5, a 2.7, a 2.7, 2.4. So I'm probably going to have to start flagging these in this region. But they're all at the same location. You see here? All of them. So that's telling me something's about to happen in this area as well. And also this area, the small indications. And that's why I have it circled. So these two areas right here, I know for a fact this is an ancient volcano in this area, and there may be volcano in this area as well. And it's approximately right here in this location. That's these right here that are taking place. Before we close down to South America, I want to show you this area again. I'm probably going to have to highlight this San Andreas Fault with an indication, something like this, instead of the white line. I don't know. Let me tell me what you think. If you want this to be wider for the San Andreas Fault, let me know and I will adjust it. But this is the fault line right here. As you can see, the indications, 5.6 back in September the 23rd in this area. But as you can see, a magnitude 4.1 August, and then in September of 5.3. But look at all of these. I can't hardly, if I keep putting them up, I'm probably going to have to make an adjustment, and they're going to have to be a magnitude 4 or higher. But look at that, 4.2 that has taken place in that region, and it was only 10 kilometers, and that was today. A 4.1, and that was on the 24th. And then, of course, the 5 that took place on the 23rd. And we're starting to see more and more go into the direction of Colombia, going right across this area. A 4.8 on the 23rd, a 4.9 on the 23rd, 4.5 on the 28th, that was yesterday, a 4.3 on the 26th, a 4.4 on the 26th, and a 4.4 on the today, the 29th. So look at this right here. Do you see something? Do you see this line? That's telling me that this must be an ancient fault line that has no indications for years. And it's all in this region right here. So this must be, if you see this is a major tectonic plate, the Ring of Fire, as you can see here. So this area is strange because I've never seen it do that before. And I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So it starts right here, goes to here, and then down through here. So something's going on. As you can see, there's a line right here. 4.4, 4.3, 4.5, 4.8, 4.9. So I'm pretty sure that's an ancient fault line that has been dormant. And then this was the 4.9 right here. I don't have it marked. I did cover the 4.6 on the 20th. This is the area of the 7.5. A number of 5s back in August, 4.7 in November. But you get the picture, right? I'm going to bring this out for you. A 5.1 also took place in that area just south of here, of the 7.5. And there it is, right here. Right here in this area. They had a 5.4 yesterday on the 28th. And it was in this area here. It's not a aftershock. This is a new area right here in this region. So in order to track these, I tell you, it's a lot of work. But look how they're increasing, like I stated in the last couple of updates. I have watched them go, all of these went from 2.5s months ago to 3.5, and now they're going to 4s, just like I said they would. A 4.6, 4. That right there is a 4.3 on the 24th, a 4.0 on the 25th, a 4.2 the 24th, 4.8 the 27th, 4.7 the 27th, 4.3 the 27th. Wow, big change. Also in the South Sandwich region, there was a 5.0 that was 54 kilometers. And I've been covering this area for months before the 7 and the 8 took place. Magnitude 8 right there. 7.5. And I've been focused on this area for quite some time. There was also a 6 in that area. That was a 4.9. So we're going to slide over here to Japan. A 6.3 took place in that area. This is approximately where it's at, 6.3, and it was very shallow, only 6 kilometers. I'm going to bring it in for you. And as you can see, it's right here. And then November the 26th, there was a 5.7 that was only 10 kilometers. So we're starting to see more and more activity along this ridge, and we're starting to see more and more as it goes up through here. This is a major tectonic plate. I'd like to explain something. It changes right here, as you can see, and it goes right through Japan, and it goes up through here. So a lot of activity's been happening in this region, and as you know, back in September there was a 6.1 in this area. They did have a magnitude 4 on the 29th today. That was very, very deep, 381 kilometers. A 4.6 on the 28th yesterday. It was 10 kilometers in that area. Also a 4.3 on the 24th. I don't have them marked because it takes a lot. I mean, it's hundreds of earthquakes every single day, and they're starting to go up on the numbers. That was a 5.0, and it was 10 kilometers on the 24th. This was a 6.2. I'm gonna cruise over here so I can show you the location. Right here, this region, and this is a major fault line that goes right up through here, and this is two main plates right here. You have the India plate pushing on China, and that's what created these mountain ranges right here, of course. And there was a 4.3 on the 23rd. It was shallow, 10 kilometers, approximately in this area. We're starting to see more earthquakes around Malaysia. 4.6, only 10 kilometers, and that was today. And that was approximately right here in this area. Wow, that just happened. That just took place, or I would have marked that. 4.3, just north of that, in this area. That was a 4.9 back in August, 4.7. And this is a major plate right here, tectonic plate. 4.7 again, just up north. And then back in August, they did have the 6.1. As far as what's going on in New Zealand, this area, they had a 5.4 that took place on the 24th. We'll slide over here. I want to show you something. This is it right here at 5.3 as well on the 24th, 4.9 on the 23rd. But what's got me puzzled is, do you see a fault line? Something similar to that? No. So what's going on in this area? What is going on? We know that it's making the adjustment to go through this fault line and none up in here. And then on the 25th, just a few days ago, a 6.0 took place. And I'm going to see if we can't zoom in and find that one. And it may not be there. Okay, here it is. A 6.0, and that took place on the 24th, and it was 29 kilometers in this area here. That's very unusual. You know, you would think it would be right through here, but that's not always the way it is. And then right here around the Solomon Islands at 6.4 back in October. The reason I'm going back as far as that is October is I want you to know that these big earthquakes and tracking them, it's important, just like this one in October 6.1 on the 18th. This one was on the 15th, because it's important to know that these large earthquakes and the date that takes place so we can track them. And then of course this was a 4.9 as well in this area. And then November the 19th is 5.4 in this region as well. This is the 5.4 that took place right here in west of Fuji. And this is the 19th, a 5.4, 4.6. As far as New Zealand, it looks like it slowed down through this area and all down through here. A lot of good people, wonderful subscribers that are down there, and getting off the earthquake a little bit. Please pray for them. They can't leave this island, just like they can't leave Australia, and I'm not going to get into it. It's so depressing what's taking place there. A 4.6 took place right there in this region on the 23rd, and it was only 10 kilometers. And what you see with these cracks right here, what that is the earth is expanding, and this is what caused it. There'll be horizontal and vertical cracks, and that's what this is in that region. You can see right there on the map. I want to move over here now. Right here, a 4.6 that was very shallow, only 10 kilometers, and that happened on the 25th. And as you can see, this is the fault line that runs right down through there, right here in this region. And of course, this is the Great Rift. A lot of indications have been happening in this area. They've been small. I'm not recording them. Back in October, 4.1, 4.7, 4.7. So we may end up seeing more and more earthquakes in this area. I'm not going to track them if they're small. And then what occurred right here was a 4.4, and it was Italy. And I want to bring this in so you can see on the southern part of Italy, a 4.8. This is Mount Etna right here. And then I covered this one on the 17th at 4.1. Mount Etna is right here. I want to spin this around for you so you can see what I'm saying. As you can see, this is the Calvaire, and as it's going into the ocean, I'll bring this up around to the north so you can see where I'm getting a better angle of it. And this is what's saving La Palma, ladies and gentlemen, is this volcano is saving La Palma. If this volcano stopped eruption, then La Palma is going to go again. It's not slowing down, and it will continue. 4.8 yesterday, and it was only about 12 kilometers. This is the 4.4. This just happened, and I don't have it flagged, and it's approximately in the same area. We're going to look at south of Greece just for a moment. They had the 4.4 2 days ago on the 27th, and a 4.1 on the 23rd, and that's this area right here. And as you can see, this is the fault line. But look at all this. We're going to see more and more in this regions right here. This is the ancient volcano area. I covered it before. I don't want to go over it again. I want to try to keep this down as much as possible. Do you see any earthquakes? La Palma's right here. Do you see any? No. The USBS, these BS, GS, they're not showing them, and there's thousands of them. They're very small, 1.5, a few of the 2s, 3s, and there's been approximately 5.5s out here in the water. I'm going to have to get a different program to find them, but it's not stopping. And as you can see, the vents, like I stated before, these vents are going to open up. They haven't yet, okay? But they're going to. Look at all of these. And this is north. Now they're starting to open up on the back side, the northeast side. Vents are starting to open up, and the main Corvair is changing, and we're going to see more and more outside the large Corvair. And then these towns are going to be affected eventually. So what's going to happen? You tell me what's going to happen. Is it Revelation 8 where it talks about a fiery mountain falling to the sea? It's highly possible. But now this whole area is erupting on the outside of the main Corvair. So now they're getting openings here, 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 and of course this area. So the main is still doing its thing, but now there's more happening around the outside of it. So is all of this going to go off? Eventually, it's highly possible. And it's going to get worse. I just want to cover that before we close out. This is the current position. As you know, if you kept up with us, November the 22nd, it moved 5.18 miles, and it is moved 1.25 miles. That's what it's been averaging. And the date is the 29th. So that means it speeded up a little bit. And then this area here is the reference mark for 38.5 degrees. So what I'm getting at is, I believe, according to my calculations, right here is where we are right now, okay? And then we're going to be right here within the next week and a half. And we're going to see some changes. We're going to see some changes, ladies and gentlemen, because that's the 38.5 degree mark, and we are definitely going to see some changes. But that's approximately. I'm not giving it to you now. I'm going to wait and give it to you here in a couple of weeks. By the time I give it to you, it's probably going to be somewhere in this area, because this is November the 22nd that we moved 5.18 miles. So that's the current position of the magnetic north, and I already covered this. That's a 4.9 that took place on the 27th, just a couple of days ago. And I already have it marked. This is the area. 4.9 on the 27th, just 2 days ago. I'm going to bring this in so you can see what I'm talking about. There's your reference. That's this one right here. I'm going to move this around for you. You can see it. See how it makes a turn. That's this one. And that's this area right here. And as I stated in the last video, I look for this area to get one, because this is where it's turning and changing. So a lot going on, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to give everybody an update. Thank you for your patience and understanding. We have a lot going on. So let's change it up a little bit, shall we? I believe so. I'm telling you, I'm getting very concerned, and you should be concerned too. Please pray for your loved ones, especially those in the southern part of California. Don't give up on them. There's a lot going on. Now I'm going to take you somewhere else. All of the years that I have been researching, I have never seen it like this. I have not. I can't keep up with everything anymore. I used to as much as possible, but I can't do it anymore. And there's darkness falling upon the earth, and it's increasing. I received information this week. A friend of mine, a number of her relatives committed suicide, and they took the, So darkness is upon the earth, ladies and gentlemen, and the earthquakes are going to continue, and the government's not going to stop, are they? Please be strong, ladies and gentlemen. Please, this is not the time to lay down. This is the time to put the full armor of the Heavenly Father on. And I pray for all of you every day. The people that are on the channels, the people that have prayer requests. April, she became sick with her son last week. And for the last 3 or 4 days, she's been having it hard. April, if you're listening, we love you, sister. We're praying for you, April. Please take your rest and recover. I'm grateful that her son has recovered. But all of these are increasing. The darkness is upon the earth, isn't it? Depression, people are falling into alcohol, drugs, suicide. Be strong, everyone. May the Heavenly Father continue to watch over you and your loved ones. Continue in prayer. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support and your prayers. God bless everyone. Much love with many blessings.